Okay, have you ever felt like you're just stuck? Like no matter what you do, the universe is kind of like throwing up roadblocks in your way.
Yeah, I think we've all been there.
We're going to do a deep dive today on this idea that maybe, just maybe, those roadblocks are actually um, like redirects,
Mm.
you know, leading us exactly where we're supposed to be.
I like that. Redirects.
Yeah, and this idea comes from this audiobook I was listening to called Keep Calm. The universe is secretly working in your favor.
Oh, interesting.
So have you heard this idea before that like the universe is actually working for us, not against us?
I have, and I find it to be a really fascinating perspective. Like, what if instead of these forces working against us, it's all actually part of some big cosmic plan?
Right, and this book dives deep into that. So it talks about this idea of um, a cosmic rhythm. Have you heard of that?
I have, and I think about it almost like a dance. Like, you're not thinking about each step, you're just letting the music and your partner guide you. You're in flow.
Exactly. And the book even uses that example of like trusting your dance partner, right? You don't overthink each step, you just kind of flow.
Right, you surrender to the rhythm.
Yes. But that takes a lot of trust,
Yeah.
especially when it feels like, oh my gosh, everything's going wrong.
Yeah, because we're so used to wanting to control everything, right? But what if those moments where we feel like, ugh, this is a setback, those are actually, like you said, redirects. Like the universe is saying, hey, this is not the path. Let's go this way.
Yeah. What if it's actually pointing us towards something even better than what we had planned?
Exactly. Something we couldn't even imagine.
So that's a pretty radical shift in thinking. Like instead of
Yeah.
resisting, we should embrace those stumbles.
Yeah, because they might be opportunities in disguise.
Okay, so the book also talks about the power of gratitude in all this too.
Gratitude's huge. It's almost
Uh,
like a universal magnet.
oh, how so?
Well, when we focus on what we're grateful for, we shift our energy. And when our energy is high, our vibration is high, we start to attract more good things.
So it's like when you clean out a closet, you get rid of all the stuff you don't need. It feels lighter. You're like, oh, I could put new things in here.
Exactly. It's like making space for those good things to come in.
Okay, so, but how do we cultivate gratitude when things feel really, really tough?
That's a great question. Because it's easy to be grateful when everything's going great.
Right.
But when you're in the midst of a challenge, it's about finding those little glimmers of light, those small moments of joy.
Okay, so like what? Give me an example.
It could be something as simple as, I don't know, the warmth of the sun on your skin, a really good cup of coffee, or a conversation with a good friend.
Okay, so really focusing on the small things.
Yeah, because those small moments, they add up, and they can really shift your perspective.
Okay, I like that. So it's about training ourselves to notice those little blessings that we might normally just take for granted.
Exactly, because they're always there.
Okay, so the book also talks about tapping into our intuition, right? That gut feeling that we have that sometimes warns us about things or guides us towards things.
Yes, that inner knowing.
Is that part of this cosmic support system too?
Absolutely. Our intuition is like a direct line to that universal wisdom.
Ooh, I like that.
It's just a matter of learning to listen to it.
So how do we know if it's our intuition or just like, our anxiety talking or our fears?
That's a good question. Um, well, sometimes it is feeling in your gut, literally, like a knot in your stomach, or conversely, a feeling of expansion in your chest.
Okay, interesting.
Pay attention to those physical
To
sensations.
these cues.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because our bodies are always giving us information.
I like that. Okay, and the book also talks about this idea of reframing challenges as opportunities,
Oh, that's a powerful one.
which feels like a superpower in and of itself.
It is, because instead of seeing challenges as these big roadblocks, what if we saw them as detours?
Like leading us somewhere else.
Exactly, leading us to something maybe even better.
Yeah, and it's like instead of asking, why me,
Hmm.
we ask, what can I learn from this?
Yes, exactly. And it empowers us to take control of our story. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstance, we're like, okay, this happened. What's the lesson here? How can I grow from this?
That's a really good point. So this ties into the whole idea of a growth mindset too, right?
Absolutely. It's that belief that we can always learn and evolve, even from our mistakes.
So we're not defined by those so-called failures.
Exactly.
So maybe they're actually just course corrections. Like
Yeah.
the universe is saying, nope, not that way. Let's go this way.
I love that. And when we can embrace that perspective, it opens up a whole world of possibilities.
So we've talked about embracing this cosmic rhythm, cultivating gratitude, tapping into our intuition, and reframing challenges. it's a lot.
It is, but it's exciting stuff.
It is exciting. And I love this idea that maybe, just maybe, we can kind of surrender to this flow instead of constantly fighting against it.
And when we do that, the universe can really work its magic.
Yeah, and maybe it already is. So the question is, how do we actually, like, put all this into practice in our everyday lives?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. So the book gives us some tools, right, for actually, like, tapping into that
Oh,
support.
yeah. Lay it on me.
Okay, so one that I found really interesting is this idea of acting as if.
As if. What does it mean? Like, we're just pretending.
It's more than just pretending. It's about, like, aligning your thoughts, words, and actions with what you want, even before you see it.
Oh, okay. So, like, even before it manifests in your reality.
Yeah. It's about embodying the feeling of already having it.
Okay. So, for example, if I want to attract more abundance, I should act as if I'm already wealthy.
Exactly. So start visualizing yourself living that life, right? Maybe you're giving generously to charity, or you're traveling the world, or you just feel this sense of peace and security.
So we're like embodying that energy.
Yes. And when you do that, it sends a signal to the universe that you're ready to receive it.
Okay, so it's not just like wishing and hoping.
No, it's about taking action. It's about aligning your energy with what you want.
Okay, I like that. So it's like almost like we're tuning into a certain radio frequency.
Yeah.
And then when we match that frequency, then that's when the magic can happen.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So another tool that the book talks about is visualization.
Oh, yeah. Visualization is huge.
What exactly do they mean by that?
It's about creating these really detailed mental pictures in your mind, like you're creating a movie.
Okay, so like I should imagine myself actually achieving my goal.
Yeah. And really feel the emotions associated with, like, it's happening right now.
Okay.
Like, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel?
So it's about engaging all the senses.
Yes. The more vivid you can make it, the more powerful it is.
And this helps to kind of solidify that belief that it's possible.
Exactly. Because our subconscious mind, it doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined.
Oh, interesting.
So if you can really feel it and see it in your mind, your subconscious is like, okay, this is happening.
So then it starts to like attract it into our reality.
Yes. Because remember, the universe responds to our dominant liberation, our overall energy. So if we're constantly doubting and worrying and focusing on what we lack, that's the energy we're putting out there.
Right. So we have to cultivate that feeling of faith.
Exactly. That trust that the universe has our back.
Even when we can't see the full picture yet.
Yes.
But what about when things feel really tough? Like when it's hard to even like imagine that things could get better.
Well, that's where self-compassion comes in.
Oh, okay.
The book really emphasizes the importance of treating ourselves with kindness, especially during those tough times.
Because we tend to like beat ourselves up.
We do.
We're our own worst critics.
Exactly. So it's about recognizing that, we're human, we all make mistakes, and that's okay.
So instead of like getting down on ourselves, we should be offering ourselves support.
Yeah, just like you would a good friend.
Right.
So, next time you mess up, instead of saying, ugh, I'm so stupid, and say, okay, I learned something from that. Let's move on.
So we're not punishing ourselves. We're just like redirecting ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And remember, the universe doesn't punish us for our mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
It just redirects us.
And maybe those failures are actually, like we said before, just course corrections.
Exactly.
The universe is saying, nope, let's try this way instead.
I love that.
Okay, so I noticed the book also talks about like the importance of connecting with nature
Oh, yeah.
as a way to tap into this wisdom.
Yeah.
What's the connection there?
I think, nature is like this incredible mirror.
Yeah.
It shows us the beauty and the order of the universe, and it reminds us that we're part of something much bigger than ourselves.
Yeah, like you go for a walk in the woods or you look up at the stars.
Exactly. And you just feel this sense of awe,
Yeah.
and it can really shift your perspective.
So it's like hitting the reset button. We get so caught up in our daily lives.
Right, with all the noise and the chaos.
And then we go out in nature and it's like, okay, I'm reconnected.
Exactly. And I think often it's in those moments of stillness when we're surrounded by nature that we get our clearest insights.
Like it's whispering secrets to us.
Yes. It's like nature is guiding us.
Okay, I like that. So maybe the next time we're feeling lost or overwhelmed, instead of reaching for our phones, we should go for a walk in the park.
Exactly. Or just sit under a tree and just be present
Yeah.
and listen.
Okay, so we've talked about acting as if, visualization, self-compassion, connecting with nature. Are there any other practices that can help us align with this cosmic rhythm?
Yeah, there are a few. One that's really resonated with me is the idea of setting intentions.
Setting intentions. Okay.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about like consciously choosing what you want to create in your life.
Oh, okay.
And then, aligning your energy and your actions with that.
So it's not just about like hoping for things to happen.
No, it's about being proactive. It's about making a choice.
Okay. So how do we actually set intentions? Like, is it as simple as saying, I intend to be happy?
It can be that simple,
Hmm.
but the key is to be, specific
Yeah.
and really feel it.
Okay.
So, like, what does happiness look like for you? Paint a picture in your mind, really feel those emotions,
Yeah.
and then declare it.
So it's almost like a mini manifestation ritual.
It is.
We're kind of setting the stage for what we want to attract.
Exactly. And the more you focus on it, the more you align with it, the more likely it is to manifest.
Okay. But what about those times when, like, we're setting intentions and it feels like nothing's happening?
Right.
Like we're putting in the effort, but we're not seeing the results.
Well, that's where trust and patience come in.
Oh, okay.
Because the universe, it works in mysterious ways. And sometimes what we think we want, isn't actually what's best for us.
Right. So it's about surrendering to the bigger plan.
Exactly. And trusting that even those apparent setbacks are actually redirects.
Leading us somewhere better.
Exactly. And also recognizing that the journey is just as important as the destination.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's about enjoying the process, the learning, the growth that comes with each step.
So it's not about forcing things. It's about, like, flowing with it.
Exactly. And the more you practice that, the more you start to see those synchronicities, those like, wow, that was meant to be moments.
Like the universe is, like, winking at you.
Yes, it's orchestrating those events.
And it feels like magic. But maybe it's not magic. Maybe it's just, like, the way it's supposed to be.
Maybe.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into Keep Calm, the universe is secretly working in your favor. What's one final thought you would leave with our listener?
I would just say, remember, you are not alone on this journey. The universe is always there to support you, to guide you, to lead you to your most fulfilling life. Just trust the process, embrace the unknown, and allow yourself to be amazed by the magic that unfolds when you surrender to the flow.
I love that. And don't forget to have fun along the way.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep shining your light.